Over the last 30 years, there's been a shift in our thinking. We used to reflect little on the lasting effects of what we bought and what we built. But that's changed. We are now on the long road to sustainability. Want proof? Just look at the rapid growth in green building and the green building products industry. Experts estimate that the growth in the green buildings product industry is occurring at about 13% a year, which can mean increased business opportunity and revenue. Given how prevalent the word green is, customers and consumers demand green products that are not only competitively priced, but are proven to perform on many levels, and just as well as non-green products.
Green product labels and certifications appear in construction project specifications and building rating programs like LEED, which is the most widely recognized green building rating system. There's also talk of the federal government mandating the use of green products on certain types of projects, which makes green product certifications even more important. We'll discuss why later. Of course, every opportunity comes with its own unique challenges, and the world of green product certification is no different. It's a complex and sometimes confusing place. First, there is the sheer number of green building product certification and labeling systems in the market today, some of which are based on different industry standards. For example, if you are interested in getting a green certification for a dishwasher, there are over 15 possible certifications available. How do you figure out which is the right one for you, your product, and your company? Then there are new certifications introduced regularly and the just as constant retooling of existing certifications.
Finally, added to this complexity is the requirements of your company and customers. Will the certification help you gain market share? Does the customer even care? If any product remanufacturing is necessary, will the benefits outweigh the costs? Green product certification and labeling systems only make sense if they match your company's goals. So, how can you begin to find your way through this world of green building product certifications that is equal part opportunity and complexity? Well, by taking this course, you're taking the first step of your journey.
The overall purpose of this course is to educate you on the types of green building product certifications available, and what is required to achieve each, so that you or the company you represent can make an informed decision as to whether product certification is the right choice for you. This course has 4 lessons. The first lesson, the basics of certification, covers the most common reasons manufacturers decide to pursue green product certifications, as well as common terms and acronyms. The second lesson, Making the Decision, explores the 5 factors a company needs to evaluate when contemplating a decision to certify. The third lesson, Certifications Applicable to Most Products, explains which green building product certifications apply to most products and introduces the diversity of certifications in various product categories. The last lesson, Finding Your Way. An in-depth look at certifications allows you to explore which green product certifications are most likely to apply to specific building products.
At the end of the first 3 lessons, welcome to the Basics of Certification lesson, which will take you approximately 45 minutes to complete and will conclude with lesson assessment practice questions. Upon completing this lesson, you will be able to
identify the common reasons for considering green building product certification and define common industry acronyms and terminology. When exploring the extensive green building product certification world, it's important to understand vital questions you should be asking and how to engage in this world without losing credibility. Let's listen to Guy Sales and Winifred Promo, 2 employees of a building product manufacturer on the cusp of doing just this.
Hey, Winifred, I'm glad I ran into you. I've been getting more and more questions from customers about LEED certified products and the GBC. Do you know what these things are? Not having answers is starting to affect my sales.
I know what you mean. When I first started learning about green building products, I was confused about the different acronyms. The GBC that you've heard people talk about is normally referred to as the US GBC, the U.S. Green Building Council. It's a nonprofit organization that created LEED, which is the most widely recognized green building rating system in the world. And it's easy to be confused about what LEED certifies. What helped me was to remember that since LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, it certifies green buildings, not products.
Oh, do we have any green certified products then? I've been seeing them mentioned in building specs and would love to have our products be in those projects.
No, we don't. But if we did, I would certainly be marketing them.
Well, I'm going to ask the management team if incorporating green might make sense for our company.
Sounds good. Let me know what you find out. One obvious reason manufacturers seek certifications for their products is to increase profit. The market for green building products is growing. A recent study done by the Fredonia Group, a leading business research company, estimates the U.S. demand for green products will be at $70 billion by 2015, up from $39 billion currently in 2011. Consumers, especially younger ones, want sustainable products. 89% of them choose brands aligned with a social cause such as sustainability and green building. This next generation's perspective will continue to increase demand for green building products at both the personal and business levels.
Another reason companies choose to certify their products has to do with the competition. Is it certified? If so, a company may need to obtain product certification to simply remain competitive. On the other hand, product certification can help differentiate a company's products from the others in the marketplace. Other companies choose to certify because they want to strengthen their position as a thought and practice leader. These companies often use green product certifications to increase awareness of the company, usually through print, online, and social media channels that highlight its successes. Can you decode this statement? AIA, BOMA, and IFMA all support green building rating systems like US GBC's LEED, while the DOE manages the EIA's CBEX data, which is used to generate HERS ratings. You gotta love a field that allows you to use 9 acronyms in one sentence.
Green building, like many fields tied to the sciences, is an alphabet soup of acronyms, and you just have to learn them if you want to fully understand what people are talking about. However, learning the acronyms will lend to your credibility as you use them correctly in your conversations with others.
Those acronyms outlined in the next slide will be referenced in subsequent lessons, so you'll need to know them. But don't worry, we'll take it slow and begin with the most common acronyms you'll come across as you explore green building product certification. All acronyms are defined in the glossary tab, which is at the top of your screen. Lesson 2. Making the Decision. The last time we saw Guy's sales, he was getting his bearings in the sometimes complex world of green product certification and labeling systems.
Hey Guy, how's the green product certification thing going?
It's way more complex than I thought. A few weeks ago, I ran into a flooring rep at a networking event, and he set me straight. His company has been doing this for a while. I think they have 4 or so products certified. Anyway, he was part of the team that made the decision to pursue certifications, and he gave me some pointers that might help us figure out whether certifications are a good fit for us. First, he said that you should think about what your company's goals are and what your competition is doing. You've got to consider what each certification requires, and if you're going to have to re-engineer the product to help it meet the requirements needed to prove greenness. Of course, We have to consider the fees and costs associated with certifications. And finally, the potential benefits earning a green product certification might bring us.
Sounds like you learned a lot, Guy.
Had to. Management wants me on the team to look into this. Welcome to the Making the Decision lesson, where we'll explore the 5 points Guy Sales mentioned that you'll need to consider when weighing the decision on whether or not to pursue green certifications for your products. Your company goals and market considerations, the requirements and the process of certification, opportunities for product and process re-engineering, fee and cost considerations of pursuing a certification, potential benefits to achieving a green product certification. This lesson will take approximately 30 minutes to complete and will conclude with the lesson assessment practice questions. Upon completing this lesson, you will be able to identify the key factors a manufacturer needs to consider when evaluating whether or not to pursue product certification. Explain the general process and benefits of relatively easy and rigorous product certifications. Being able to do these things will help you evaluate whether or not certification makes sense for your company. So, let's talk a bit more about the process. Earning a green label or certification is like building a house. It takes time, money, resources, and a team. The more organized and motivated the team, the faster the work gets done. Every green product certification process is different, but here's a general description of what a relatively basic certification process might consist of.
Choose the label or certification you wish to achieve. Go to the website and download the requirements, the things you need to prove. Determine how to get the necessary documentation and start compiling it. Reach out to the certifying organization regarding application process. Continue compiling your documentation and then apply for certification and supply documentation to the certifying organization. Respond to the certifying organization's questions, if necessary. Receive label or certification.
If your team is well organized and motivated, a relatively basic certification could be obtained in a few months.
The process of earning a more rigorous certification is similar, but there are 3 important differences. In a more rigorous process, you will generally have much more interaction and dialogue with the certifying body. In a way, the representative of the certifying body becomes your guide to earning the certification. You will often be able to choose your path within the label or certification. With a more expansive certification system that weighs multiple categories of product When you get serious about creating your path to green product certification, it's time to determine if your product really meets the requirements. If so, great. If not, you need to make a decision. Should you re-engineer? Before we discuss any specific certification programs, let's review the difference between single and multi-attribute labels and certifications. These terms form an important distinction you'll want to understand moving forward on your green product certification trek. There are many green product certification systems that indicate a product has a certain green attribute. For example, the product may be energy efficient, it may conserve water, it may be made of recycled materials, or it may avoid emitting toxins. Single attribute certifications can verify that products meet a certain set of standards for one characteristic of that product. Maybe you've heard of Energy Star or Water Sense. These are 2 of the most encountered single attribute labels in the marketplace, covering energy performance and water efficiency, respectively. While single attribute certifications are a good start for making purchasing decisions, many manufacturers and customers are looking beyond the single attribute certification of a product and considering multiple environmental impacts the product might have.
Unlike single attribute labels and certification systems, Multi-attribute certification programs take a more comprehensive approach by measuring multiple green attributes of a product. Cradle to Cradle is an example of a multi-attribute certification. Instead of just focusing on one single aspect of the product, Cradle to Cradle evaluates the design and material content of a product and the practices employed in manufacturing it. The material and manufacturing practices of each product are assessed in 5 categories: material health, material reutilization, renewable energy use, water stewardship, and social responsibility. The goal of multi-attribute certifications is to recognize products that score well across a comprehensive array of environmental, health, and social measures. Some of these include a full analysis of a product's life cycle, while others simply use life cycle thinking to identify the top issues considered by the certification.
Most of the green product certifications available today assess the following 8 categories of attributes. This list isn't exclusive, but understanding the basics of each attribute category will give you a better understanding of which ones might apply to your product or products. In fact, I'm going to ask you what attributes might apply to your products in one of the knowledge checks that follows these categories. Aside from energy and water efficiency, there are plenty of other green product certifications and labels on the marketplace that can be applied to the majority of building products. Each of these systems is important to understand because they represent different features of your green product certification options. The systems that we'll cover could apply to a broad spectrum of products, so while there may not currently be a certification that is specific to your industry, certifications that fall into the categories exemplified here may be worth exploring in order to keep ahead of the marketplace, or demonstrate your product's greenness or your company's commitment to sustainability.
There are several newer green product programs in existence that fall into the category of single attribute claim verification systems. An organization offering a claim verification will, not surprisingly, verify an environmental claim you wish to make about the product. These types of programs are fairly new, so there's not a large market adoption of them yet, but they're growing exponentially. An example of a claim verification program is the International Code Council Evaluation Services Sustainable Attributes Verification and Evaluation Program, better known by its acronym ICCES SAVE. It's a third-party claims program that was launched in 2008. ICCES SAVE certified products include various building, plumbing, mechanical, and fuel gas products. The verification costs a minimum of $5,200.
One example of embodied carbon measurements is the Carbon Reduction Label, which is managed by the Carbon Trust Footprinting Company. The Carbon Reduction Label is a third-party information label based on the PAS 2050 standard. It was launched in 2007 and primarily covers consumer products including everything from light bulbs to vacuums to orange juice.
The carbon reduction label is valid for 2 years, and reductions in embodied carbon must be shown in order to achieve recertification. The label works with approximately 80 companies who have over 5,000 products certified. The cost of certification varies widely, depending on product complexity, size of the supply chain being assessed, and the number of products footprinted. The label complies with the Carbon Trust Code of Good Practice for product greenhouse gas emissions and reduction claims and the Carbon Trust Footprint Expert Standards.
The Carbon Reduction Label is an example of a single attribute label focused on one attribute of a product. Not all companies or consumers are interested in carbon, but for those that are, Labels like the carbon reduction label are an easy first-stop shop for them to find out the details about those products. Now, let's turn to the final knowledge check of this lesson.
Since we saw him last, Guy Sales has been busy researching applicable certifications for his company. Let's check back in with him.
Hey Guy, I'm glad I caught you. How was the Green Building Product Certification Trade Show?
You know, the representatives of the different organizations were really knowledgeable and supportive. I went in thinking that there might only be 1 or 2 certifications that might apply to our company, but there were so many certification options that I wasn't aware of. Initially, I was pretty overwhelmed by the number of labels and certifications, but thinking about our company's situation really helped me determine the ones that were the most applicable. Best of all, I found a label that I'm going to recommend to management that we pursue.
I'm glad you found the trade show helpful, Guy.
Yeah, me too. I'd recommend it to anyone serious about looking into certification. Hello, and welcome to the final lesson of this course, Finding Your Way, an in-depth look at specific certifications. In taking this lesson, you will become more aware of the wide range of labels and certifications that might apply to your company's products. By the end, you'll have acquired a handful of applicable certifications that you can explore further. To do this, you'll need to analyze why certain certifications might be a good fit. I'll ask you questions at the end that will help with that. The lesson is structured as a trade show in which there are 3 different sections that contain related labels, ratings, claim verifications, and certifications. In different sections, you will learn must-have information about specific certifications. As you exit the trade show, I'll ask you questions about certifications that you've identified as applicable to your company's products and situation. So before you leave a section for good, make sure to jot those down. You'll get much more out of this trade show experience if you do so. At the end of the show, there will be a short evaluation, though it will depend on how many certifications you explore. I imagine your visit will take 45 minutes or so. In this trade show, you'll find information on 33 labels, ratings, claim verifications, and certifications, which, as I mentioned, are contained in 3 sections. In the multi-attribute section, you will find certifications that can be applicable to just about any type of product. Additionally, these certifications are not attribute specific, some of which are actually claim verification programs. Claim verification programs are those that can provide third-party verification of whatever claim you as the manufacturer are making, with proper documentation, of course. In the single attribute section, you'll find certifications that are specific to a particular product attribute, such as recycled content or energy. Each certification program will only be able to certify certain aspects of a product and not the product as a whole. In the industries section, you'll find certifications that are specific